Yeah, hello everybody. First of all, thanks a lot for inviting us, for having us in this very important discussion about sovereignty. I mean, there have been so much things have been said, which of course would be great to discuss. But maybe I focus a bit on the perspective of view of an international company. And you may, in the first place, ask the question: why is it relevant for a company who is globally active to focus on questions like sovereignty? And Wolfgang was already to a certain extent alluding to it. And just to stress that point, it is really about reducing dependencies, and it is about resilience. Maybe to illustrate shortly for the ones who have no clue or who are not too close to what here is doing. So we have a legacy in more from the B2B side, working with location data. So location intelligence. So the roots are with building out digital maps. So if you're sitting in a car or having a mobile phone in hand, the likelihood is huge that the information behind, so the digital map, has been produced by us. So we are active in 200 countries around the world. We are quite active in the US with some 20 offices. We have a joint venture in China. And are kind of confronted regularly with industry policies. We see, of course, the way China has decided to go, and we see the market dominance and the market cap, which had been summarized in the US. So sovereignty is for us an issue clearly to see and to prevent that there are dependencies. And if we say dependencies, then of course access to a network and to cloud services is one thing. But one step further, for us, it's all about content. And it has been mentioned that that the access to data, and I would even go a step further and say access to a certain system which is created by data. So these ecosystems with the known lock-in effects are of course crucial. And in the given context, where nobody can really foresee what decisions may come up motivated by some political decisions, it's crucial to have independencies and to go forward. And in addition, we see, of course, that our customers, for example, in Asia, but in Europe as well, they are very interested to see where data is handled and how we can really ensure that our service is permanently available and in outstanding and excellent quality. So this is the driver why we are kind of highly engaged in that discussion as a European company. When it comes to describing, maybe before listing few points, maybe it's easier to just describe it with one concrete approach what we undertook together with the German government, and by the way, orchestrated by Acatech, Ulrich. So they are quite active in that to set a data space up. In the first place, these data space for mobility is the first case which I'm aware about in Germany, which is a bit advanced already. So there is another data space about health data and preparation, but about mobility, the approach in short is the following. There will be the data space where mainly a catalog of metadata will be available, where all participants can, on a voluntary basis, contribute to. So it will be the public transport companies, it will be the OEMs, the railway companies, the aircraft carriers. Everybody who has something to do with mobility and geodata will contribute to, again, on voluntary basis. Make data available and see whether an existing business model can be improved, or, and this is very important for us, if new business models can be created based on these data which are made available. So that's the idea. We are quite advanced, as said, in these discussions, and should have a structure ready early next year, going live latest in October 21 in the context of the ITS World Congress in Hamburg. all under with the clear aspiration not to have that limit as the siloed German approach, but to have that linked to the Gaia X initiative, to clearly think it in an European manner and not to focus only on one country approach. That would, from our point of view, would not make too much sense in that context. What we can contribute to is our experience of setting up a marketplace with all related content, like how to do it, how to set up a data fabric with these huge amounts of data, where you have so many different data sources which have relevance for others, and you need, of course, to clarify the related rights. And I listened to the comments making a differentiation between the personal data, which are falling under GDPR, and more the industrial data. And from our point of view, clearly in the discussion, we are a bit overlooking that Europe has a lot of strengths when it comes to the industry data. I'm not saying that personal data and maybe some search engines, that the market is kind of completely closed. There may be here and there some opportunities, but when it comes to the pure industry data, we see there are a lot of opportunities. Where I would be spontaneously a bit careful is when I was listening to the calls for regulation. This is something in our view where we need to clearly understand what we would like to achieve. And if this is clear, then I think it makes sense to consider and work on regulation. But we saw in the past lots of approach about platform regulation, competition, where we need to be very clear that if you have generally applying regulation in hand, you are, of course, kind of have all companies in Europe, smaller B2B platforms and digital players immediately under. And I think we saw examples where with a kind of too strict and not flexible regulation, you may even have the adverse effect and perpetuating an effect which nobody wants and strengthening even the bigger players in the market without naming only fews. And it's not so important whether they are coming more from the right or the left side of the planet. So all in all, I think it's not a plea against regulation, but we need to carefully look into and understand what we are doing there. And with that, back to you, Maria. Thanks a lot.